Hi, this video explains how users can make an assessment in the field using the mobile version of BrookCheck, which I'm now going to open. So a key feature of the mobile version of BrookCheck is that it works offline, in other words where there's no internet access. Having said that, before you leave for the field, you should always log on to the mobile application while you're still in the office and with the tablet connected to the internet. So do what So the reason that you need to log on first is that in order to be able to work offline, the mobile version of BrookCheck needs to collect some documents from the internet first. And while BrookCheck will still work offline if you haven't done that, you may find that you're not working with the most recent version of a survey. So as a quick rule, before you leave the office, make sure the tablet is connected to the internet and then log on. So let's carry out an assessment now. So here we have the home screen, and to carry out an assessment you just tap New Assessment here in the top left. Now this is set up for East Africa, so what you have here is a list of all of the operational units for East Africa. So let's choose Baringo. Now you choose your outcome and context, in this case semi-arid areas. Now you select the category for your survey, so let's try and do an OBM survey, which means we need to choose owners and communities. And now you select the survey you want, so the only one here is OBM, but there might be others. And now you ask the mandatory question, so you answer the mandatory question. So you must answer these 4 questions before you can continue. So you need to choose a service provider. Now that might be don't use a service provider, or you might know the name of a particular service provider, in which case you would select it from this list. Let's select Benson. You select the time period, so here it's the baseline, a partner, so let's choose Kendat, and a community, and then you type next. Now these next questions are optional and we don't need to answer any of them at the moment, so please just tap next. At the moment we are not using these input screens, so just go through to the next point. And now you can see here is the beginning of the OBM survey. So to tap in answers, you just tap on the screen. Member of a donkey welfare group, yes or no. Owner or user, let's say it's a user, male or female, and so on. And now we get to the main questions. So in OBM, you answer the survey by selecting a 0 for not achieved or 1 for achieved. And you can also see that there's a help text, so under not achieved. So if when the donkey is sick, it's not allowed to rest, or it's not cared for, or the owner doesn't consult a service provider, that's not achieved. Alternatively, you can tap achieved or not applicable, and you go through the survey just tapping on the screen to record your answers. It's very straightforward. So now we've got to the end and we've answered all the questions, and now we tap Submit Assessment. So you can now see that there's a number next to the pending assessment icon in the top of the screen, and that means that you've completed the assessment, but it also means that you haven't yet synced with the central database. So you can only do that syncing when you're connected to the internet. You can carry out other assessments in the meantime, but what you will see is that the more assessments that you complete, the number in the pending assessment icon will increase. So this number here will go up to 2 or 3. So when you return to the office, you have to sync the assessments, and this will ensure that all of your assessments are stored in the central BrookCheck database. If not, they'll only be stored locally on this tablet. So it's very simple, and this is the way you do it. You tap Pending Assessment. You select the assessment. You can either do it by touching this one or by tapping All, and then you tap Sync. Now it says Sync is in progress, the report says it succeeded, and you can see that we're now in saved assessments. And if we go back to the home page, we can now see that pending assessments is set to 0 and saved assessments is 1. So that means that you've successfully synced. So there's one other thing I want to show you when you're undertaking an assessment. So let's try and do another one. So let's choose a different operational area, new context for high potential areas, and let's try the animal and see if we can do, okay, so there's SEBWOT here, or ABIs. Let's choose the shorter ABIs. Again, it asks us for the mandatory questions, but we could always say, don't know. Select the checkpoint, the partner, and the community, and continue. Ignore the optional questions, and here we have the ABIs. And we just answer in the same way for this short set of questions. Now you'll see that as we've been clicking through, that there are two icons in the top right hand corner. Here is the icon which returns us to the home page, but doing so means that we quit the assessment, so let's not do that. The other one takes us through to the knowledge base, and that's the one with the book in the hand. So if you tap here, then it opens your Google Drive on the tablet, and here you can see there are various folders which have Word documents or videos in them. So these are just examples, but we will fully upload the full list later on. So here, for example, is a video of the symptoms of cramping in a horse, and you can see that there is a video available for you there. So it may be that in the course of undertaking an assessment, you might want to access some of the videos stored on BookCheck, and you can do it this way. And if you want to go back to your assessment, then you just press the back button on the tablet. So we'll do that. It takes us back out, and we keep on pressing it until we return. Here we are back to the assessment, and in this case we finished, so we'll just submit. And now we can see that there's another number 1 in the pending assessment. So to sync this, we would just select it, sync. It's now gone to saved assessment, so if we press on the top left here to go back to the home page, we can see that there are now 2 saved assessments which have been synced to the database. So that's the end of this video. I just want to mention the 2 brief rules before we finish. So firstly, before you leave for the field, connect to the internet and log on to BookCheck. And secondly, when you return from the field, connect to the internet, go to pending assessments and tap sync. So it's very easy. Thanks very much. That's the end of the video, and if you have any questions, you can also ask Moto Michikata in the UK for help. Thanks very much.